Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to the special session on mock strategy for the upcoming Bank PO prelim exams. Now this is one session that you guys have been requesting for some time now, and I thought the best day of doing it should be today, the Teachers' Day, right? My gift to you on Teachers' Day is this session. With IBPS PO in just another 18 to 20 days, this session would prep you up for the upcoming exam IBPS PO as well as the other exams of the season like SBI PO Prelims and the other similar exams in a way where you can optimize your time and maximize your score, right? So this is one very important session. So what I would request you is to take notes of the important things that I say so that you know that this is the gist of it, the summary of it. And when you go and take the mock or before taking the mock, you know what you are expected to do, what you are required to do, right? Another thing that I would say in this that, this is a very different way of approaching mocks that I am going to tell you. It's a very effective way, but it is something that normally most people do not know of or do not tell, right? And practicing something which is new and different takes a little bit of support, isn't it? So it would be good if you share this session with your friends with whom you study, right? Your study partners, so that when you take mocks together and discuss the scores and analyze the mocks together, you are able to help each other on the parameters that I said for you in this particular session. Okay. So these two things, keep in mind, they would help you a lot in giving you the final push that is necessary for success in prelims. Okay. So let's start off with the 2-point agenda that we have today. First is we will see why mocks. So why mocks are important in our preparation strategy. And second, we will see what are we required to do in mocks, before mocks and after mocks, right? Okay. So first, purpose of the mocks, and then how to use mocks in the best way possible, right? So first, let's see the purpose. You see, there are three major purposes for which mocks are taken. First is it gives you familiarity with the pattern. It gives you familiarity with the kind of mindset that you need to be in while you are taking test, the time limits, right? The sectional time limits, the overall time limits, everything. The whole process, it gives you familiarity to that. So that the day when you go for the exam, it does not feel like something which is very new, something which you haven't seen any time before. So that is one. The second thing it does is it gives you a lot of relevant practice. Now, look at it this way. See, in mocks are the first time when you guys take all the three sections together. Earlier, when you used to practice topic wise or at the max section wise. Mocks are the place where you practice all sections together. So how do you orient yourself? How are you able to keep your effectiveness in every section, right? Or whether you focus more on one section, though there are sectional time limits, but still though you are thinking more about one section and less about other section in your mind. So what do you do? These things you also get to practice, and therefore if there are some things that you need to change in your behavior so that you are able to perform better, that you can do. And the third thing, and the most important thing, is that mocks are supposed to give you data based on which you are able to improve your next mock. Then based on that data, you are able to improve your next mock, and this goes on till the actual exam where you are supposed to give your best, right? So that is the main purpose of the mock. Mock's purpose, the main purpose is to maximize your chances of selection, your success, right? That is not only prelim mocks, every mock's purpose is that only, right? The third one is going to only happen if you are taking the mocks in the right way. If you are doing the things that are required from you before, inside and after mocks, right? Then only that improvement of score would come, or maximization of score would come, optimization of time handling would come. And that is the crux of today's session. So the next part is going to be the requirements that are there that you should do to maximize your chances. Okay, right? So before, inside, after mocks, what do we do? Before mock, first, you see, when you are sitting for mock, 20 to 30 minutes before that, start switching off things, right? Not only physically, but mentally too. If you are in your home, tell your parents not to disturb for the next 1.5 hours, right? And if you are you're staying with your friends in a hostel, then tell them not to disturb you for the next 1.5 hours. So from 15-20 minutes to the mock, you should be in a calm and composed mindset. You can listen to some soothing music or something to make yourself focused, right? Do not study anything, do not read anything, do not try to remember this formula, that formula, no, nothing, right? Give your mind the necessary calmness so that it can work in the best way possible. So this is what you need to do before the exam. Then you start the exam. Now before starting the exam, what comes? The instructions list comes, right? Now normally, because in every mock, the set of instruction is same, people do what? They start the mock and they start the test. Don't do that. There are two reasons why I am saying so. First of all, it's a bad habit. The moment you do that, it might also be the case when in actual paper also, you do not read the instruction and start off right away. And if there is any change, you will not be able to, you will not come to know only. This has happened with a lot of students, right? So don't do that. So that's a bad habit. Second reason is that, you see, always you must have seen that when you start the mock, the first 4-5 minutes, you take time to acclimatize, you take time to, shift your gears and be comfortable with the idea of taking mocks. And it happens with every mock. You must have noticed it happens with everybody, right? For some people, they are comfortable in the first 2 minutes of the mock. For some people, it goes beyond that till 4-5 minutes. But it happens with everybody. You know the trick to reduce it to almost zero? It will never be zero, but it can be almost zero with a single trick. You know what? Just to read the instructions in the mock that has been given before starting the mock. Why does our mind take that time to acclimatize? Because we are not reading at that point of time. We are not thinking at that point of time. Because in exam paper solving, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to read, we are supposed to think, and then based on that, we are supposed to decide. So, because we are not reading and thinking, that job is new to us at that moment. Therefore, we take a little bit of time to warm up. Okay. But then you have an opportunity. The test gives you an opportunity to warm up before the test only. And that is just by reading the instructions. Because you are reading, you are thinking, okay, these are the things that they have asked us to do, right? So don't close your mind and read. Read it and understand it. You would say, sir, after 1 or 2 marks, we will know what is written here. So what? The moment you read it, you would start thinking also. Na? So your mind, changes gears at that point of time. So when you start the test, you will take very less time to acclimatize yourself, and therefore your first section would not suffer as it normally suffers in exams where you do not read the instructions and move ahead directly solving the questions. Okay. So this is what you need to do. This you can keep it as before the exam also or inside the exam also. But this is something that you need to do. Then you start the test. Okay. Once you start the test, what happens? You have one section and then you have 20 minutes to complete that section. We are talking about only prelim mocks at this point of time. For main mocks, we will do something different. So 20 minutes and one section. Then again 20 minutes, second section, and the last section 20 minutes. So what do we do? One of the things that I have seen people doing, and that is also something that needs to be avoided, is the moment they start mock, they start solving the first question by looking at it. Okay, let's solve. Because time is less, they think that they should not be wasting time. So they jump on and start solving question. They do not see whether that question is something that they are very comfortable doing. They do not see that whether that question is something that, would require more time to do. Okay, they don't see this, they just start solving the question. Should you do it? Tell me. You should not do it, right? Yeah? Because if it is one of the more difficult questions of the paper, then you would just get frustrated by looking at that question and trying to do it. And the moment you are not able to do the first question, then you start panicking also. Right? So that shouldn't happen. See, mock taking or exam taking is as much your knowledge as it is a skill, right? And with every skill, that how we train our mind is important. How we think about ourselves while we are applying that skill is also very important. If we are confident in ourselves and then we apply our skill, then we do good. If we are not confident in ourselves and then we apply our skill, then we are not good, right? So knowledge is one part of it, which is obviously necessary, and you cannot do anything about the knowledge inside the paper. Whatever has to be done before the paper. But inside the paper, knowledge is constant. So what would determine whether you would do good in that paper or not is your confidence in yourself, is the skill with which you are taking the paper. Clear? Right? Okay. Now when I talk about this skill is directly proportional to how you attempt the paper. Why? Because if you are a skilled exam taker, you will attempt the paper in a way so that your marks are always maximized. And if you are not a skilled exam taker, then you will be inconsistent. And that is what happens with most of us, right? Our purpose is to become a skilled exam taker. How do we do that? You have, per section, you have 30, 35, 35 questions in front of you, right? In English 30 and in the other two 35, 35. So if you have 20 minutes. So I understand that time is less, but time is not so less that you cannot have a plan to attempt. You should have a plan to attempt in the paper. Now there are two ways to plan the attempt. Okay, I'll tell you both of them. Do whatever you are more comfortable with. What you should not do, I have already told you. You should not mindlessly take the first question and start going in order. No, that you shouldn't be doing. Okay. Now, one is to go through the question, all the questions in the first 2 minutes of the section. Go through all the questions means read the roots of the question, identify the type of the question. You don't need to read everything of the question, type of question. In English, whether it is fill in the blanks, whether it is closed test, how many closed test question, how many RC question, how many grammar question. So that gives you an idea about the skeleton of the paper. What is the paper made of? Similarly, in maths, how many arithmetic question, how many algebra question, how many geometry question. So this gives you an idea about what is the skeleton of the paper, right? Okay. So once you have the idea of the skeleton of the paper, you are more informed and you can take a better decision. Why? Because you know yourself the best. You know which are your strength areas, which are your skilled areas. So if you can attempt those areas where you can score more, where you take less time, then you would be able to take maximum benefit out of the limited time. Right or wrong? Right. Now, this exercise should not take you more than 2 minutes. This priority building exercise. This is called priority building exercise. Now, what do we mean by priority building exercise? You go through the skeleton of the paper within the first 2 minutes. With practice, it will come down to 1.5 minutes. And then decide which questions to do first, which questions to do next, and which questions to do last. So there are normally 3 priorities we normally make in our prelims. Priority 1 are those questions which are high speed and high accuracy question for you, right? So you do questions in 15 seconds, 10 seconds, those type of questions, and they are normally 80-90% correct. So obviously you will do them first, right? And maximize your score, maximize your chances. The next priority are those questions which are average speed, high accuracy, average speed, average accuracy. High speed, average accuracy, high speed, low accuracy also you can club in this segment, and you might not also want to club in. So these would be your priority 2. And then the last one would be average skill, low accuracy, and high speed, low accuracy. If you have not put the high speed, low accuracy in the second one. So if these are your priority set, then you know which questions you will do first and then next and then the last. Okay, this is one way of doing it. when you start prioritizing, you would see that you are taking maybe 2.5 to 3 minutes, but with practice that would come in 3-4 mocks only, that would come within 2 minutes. Just to identify the type of question, don't go and reading the question, then that will take a lot of time. Now, the second strategy. The second strategy is take the question. You already know which one is your priority 1, 2, 3. If it is your priority 1, do it. If it is not your priority 1 but priority 2 but a high speed one, high speed average accuracy, then also do it. And if it is average speed, high accuracy, average speed, mid average accuracy, then you can put it for later, right? Obviously, if it is average speed, low accuracy, and low speed, low accuracy, high speed, low accuracy, then also you could put it for later only. So you take the first question, do it if it is in that priority. Second question, if it is in that priority, do it. Third question, priority 2, leave it for later. Fourth question, priority 1, do it. Fifth question, priority 3, leave it for later, right? So do this. In this way, you move on till the end of the paper. Now you know which one is your priority 2, priority 3. Do the priority 2 first and then at the end priority 3. Clear, right? In this two way, you can organize your mock taking process. Now you might say that, sir, how is it possible? It seems so complicated. It is not complicated. Just go on and watch our mock analysis sessions on YouTube. I'll give the link there. You'll see how we have done it, right? We have taken, in some mocks we have taken the one first, and in some mock we have taken the second strategy, right? You would get to understand both the strategies, and whichever you feel like comfortable with, do that. It is not impossible. Hundreds of students have listened to this advice of ours and have created magic even with not so high skill. Okay, because as I told you, score is dependent upon your knowledge, which is constant on the day of the exam, and your skill of taking exam. So we have seen, you must have seen so many times that a high skill student but with an average test taking skills do not do good, and an average knowledge student and with a exceptional test taking skills does better than the first one. This happens, na? This is the reason that happens. Their secret is this, right? So it is possible, people do it. You just need a little bit of practice, 4 to 5 marks and you are done. Okay, right? So that is strategies, how you do inside what you do inside the mock. Now comes what you do after the mock. So your mock is done. You have taken all the 3 sections, your mock is done. What do you do after the mock? I would say, what do you do after the mock? You will check the scores and then next day you will take the mock. Here is the biggest mistake students do. That is not analyzing the mocks. What did I tell you? What is the main purpose of the mock? To help us increase our score in the next mock, then in the next mock more score or better skill, giving us better skills, and then at the end in the exam, giving our best. Now that is not going to happen if we don't learn from the mistakes that we have committed in this mock. Now whenever I say mistakes, people think that the incorrect answers that they have marked. That is one type of mistake. Yes, that needs to be handled too. But that is a mistake that would improve your knowledge, improve your skill, improve your content. That is not going to improve your test taking skills, will it? Right? No. And we need to improve that also. So how do you analyze the mock so that you do not only improve your knowledge from the analysis of the mock, but also you improve your test taking skills? Now what you need to do is that after the mock, maybe that day or next day, right? You got the score of the mock. You identify which are the right questions, which are the wrong questions, and which you could not attempt. The incorrect ones and the ones that you could not attempt, try them out again. Now when you try them out again, give 1 minute, 45 seconds, depending upon the question, and you see that there are questions that you are able to do now. Right? There will be questions that you will be able to do now. Let's say, for example, in English section, there were 30 questions. You were able to do 25 questions, 5 were incorrect and 5 you could not attempt. So out of the 20 that are correct, just very fast glance through and see whether your reason matches with the reason given in the solution and whether you are okay with the reasons. Okay, that's it. That would take hardly 10 minutes of your time. For the rest 10 questions, try them out again. Don't look at the solution. First, try them out. It will take another 15 minutes or so. And then you go to the solution. You see, 8 out of 10 times, out of those 10 questions, you will be able to do 4 to 5 questions. And 4 to 5 you will still not be able to do, or you would be doing them incorrectly. But there would be at least 3 and maximum around 5 questions which you will be able to do. That means what? These were the questions that you could have done inside the exam on that day with that kind of knowledge, because your knowledge has not increased in one day, na? Right? So you could have got 25 correct, whereas you ended up with 20 correct. This happens, right? You check it out, this happens. Now, that means that our exam taking is in a way not optimal, because if it had been optimal, we would have ended up with those 24, 25 correct, right? And our score would have increased further. So, this realization would come. So, you will write your old score, right? And then you will write your new score, your capability score. Your old score, that means the score that you have got actually after taking the mock, does not show your capability. Your capability is your new score. And how do you calculate your new score? Your new score is old score plus those questions which you have, where you have done careless mistakes, and plus those questions which you did not attempt but did correct in the attempt when you took them later on, right? You add these and this is your capability score. This is your new score. And your target is to achieve this score in the next mock, right? And on that moment only, you would also realize that why couldn't you not do that? Was it due to time? Mostly it is due to time. You could not give more time to those questions and therefore they were left unattempted. Or you could not give questions the time it requires, and because you gave more time to a question which you shouldn't have attempted, right? These things then come into play. You'd see, acha, ye question to I shouldn't have attempted. I should have rather attempted these 3 first and then moved on to that. So that realization will strike you. Sometimes that would be so heavy na, कि यार मैंने क्या कर दिया, इतना बेवकूफी कैसे कर सकता हूँ, I should have done those questions first. So that realization is very important, and that comes after the mock, in the post mock analysis, right? Okay, and then comes the feedback loop. Now this feedback would help you again inside the paper in the next mock. Then the same process would be repeated, and over the period of 7-8 mocks, you would see that you have become a master at test taking. This is the strategy of taking mocks. This is the way by which you can use the mock to your benefit in the best way possible. Not by mindlessly taking 20 mocks and not knowing where you are going wrong. It comes to your mind na, कि sir मैंने इतने सारे mock दे दिए, I took so many mocks but still I am not able to score, because you are not learning from your past mistakes. Na? That we need to do. Remember, 10 mocks this way is better than 20 mocks without analyzing. Always remember that. 10 mocks this way is equivalent to almost 30-40 mocks without analyzing. So, which is better? Obviously 10 mocks with analysis, right? Okay. So, this is how you should prepare. This is how you should take your mocks. So, hope you understood what you need to do. Hope you have written down the important points from this. If you have missed it, listen to it again at 1.5x and you'd understand what to do. So, go ahead, take your mocks, analyze your mocks and improve with every mock. Thank you very much and all the best.